Chuck Todd is NBC's political director and moderator of Meet the Press. Chuck, good morning. There is so much swirling around this pick. Amy Coney Barrett is a respected and well-liked conservative judge, but Joe Biden and Democrats will put the Affordable Care Act there as hanging in the balance on her vote. Is there anything, though, to Kelly's point there, that Democrats can do at this point? They don't have the votes. All Republicans need is a simple majority.
You know, Willie, I think this is the dilemma they have. I think there is a part of them that would like to figure out a way to delegitimize this process. Maybe, for instance, one of the senators from Connecticut is not going to meet with her. He wants to boycott the process, Richard Blumenthal said, not make it seem legitimate in the eyes of the public. But if you make the centerpiece of your argument process, then you don't get to maybe litigate the issue of health care, litigate the issue of abortion rights. So I think that's the dilemma here, Willie. I think that on one hand, Democrats see an opportunity that they believe that where her positions put her outside the mainstream of where the final voters that are undecided are sitting. So I think that's the dilemma they have. I do think some would like to delegitimize the process, but does that take your focus off of those two issues that you think can help you in this with swing voters?
Yeah, and again, Lindsey Graham, the chair of the Judiciary Committee, says hearings start 2 weeks from tomorrow, so they are moving ahead very quickly with this process. Chuck, let's talk about some of the president's comments this week about the electoral process, about the peaceful transfer of power. He walked that back a little bit, but said a couple of times this week that he'd have to wait to see how things happen. He wouldn't agree to leave, in fact, if he loses the vote. So what does this mean for the time between November 3rd, Election Day, and the couple of days or maybe even weeks after when mail-in votes are still being counted? How is this going to play out?
Well, that's what has a lot of folks in official Washington concerned. I mean, you have folks at the Pentagon nervous. Will the president somehow invoke the Insurrection Act and somehow drag the military into a disputed election, or into, even if it's not disputed, the president may claim it's disputed. And so there's fears that the president's, this is all, we all know what this is. This is his own vanity. It's a distraction tactic. It's ego more than it is some authoritarian trigger in him. But it doesn't mean it doesn't have the impact of that. And I think that is what has a lot of folks in town very nervous, Willie, that, boy, what is the president willing to do? He crosses lines all the time. He may do it for narcissistic reasons, but it ends up creating a constitutional crisis, and that's the concern around town.
We should underline that the director of the FBI, Christopher Wray, this week in Senate testimony said there is no widespread voter fraud that the FBI has seen. Lastly, Chuck, the debate. 2 days from now, we finally get to see these two candidates standing next to each other, 90 minutes in Cleveland on Tuesday night. What should we expect?
Well, it's going to be interesting. It could be asymmetric warfare, if you will. Donald Trump's going to come with just a barrage of attacks. That's the way he has worked all of his debates. He just throws a million things out there and almost sort of dares you to pick and choose which one you have to respond to. The thing I'm looking for is Joe Biden find a way, like Ronald Reagan did back in the day, to just dismiss it, there you go again, and move on. Can he effectively do that? I think that's going to be his biggest challenge, because that is the only really tactic that the president has in debating. Just constant barrage of rhetorical attacks. He knows it's coming, but dealing with them isn't easy.
All right, Chuck Todd, thank you very much. Another very busy morning for you.
Yes,
we'll look for more on Meet the Press when Chuck is joined by former Trump National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster, who's out with a new book about his time in the White House.